Okay, here we go. The weekend preview and injury report for AMA Pro Motocross this Saturday at Thunder Valley MX in Colorado. In the 450 class, it's going to be a big day for Eli Tomac, who is coming off his first moto win since 2022. It is also his first time back at the Thunder Valley race since 2022, which happens to be in his home state. The fans are going to go wild pulling for Eli there. And they'll also be in for an extra special treat as his dad, John Tomac, will serve as Grand Marshal for the event. However, even though Jet Lawrence was beaten by both Tomac and Aaron Plessinger in that first moto at Hangtown, he still walked away with the overall. Don't be surprised to see more great battles between those three and others this weekend. In the 250 class, Hayden Deegan has won all 4 motos to start the year. What's even crazier is Joe Shimoda has gotten second place in every moto so far. In a field as deep as this one, it is wild to see these two set themselves apart so early on. Will it be more of the same this weekend, or will someone else be able to get into the mix? And will the elevation of Colorado come into play? For more on that and the track, here is former pro Jason Thomas.
Round 3 of the Pro Motocross Championship and also round 20 of the Greater Super Motocross World Championship brings us to Lakewood, Colorado for the Thunder Valley National. Now, this track has undergone a lot of change over the years. Remember, this Thunder Valley National has been around since the 80s. We had a hiatus, a little bit of change in venue, but the track from then, even when we returned in 2005 to now, has become much more conducive to riders, and that's been through bringing in outside soil. There's a ton of sand brought into this racetrack to soften it up. If this was a random Wednesday or a random weekend throughout the season, it would be a much harder, more challenging racetrack than the traction that riders are going to get on the weekend. That's brought in through sand. We've seen mulch. But the key is they soften up the racetrack. They add softer bumps, creates different lines, makes it a lot ruddier than it would typically be. Now, the riders do like this racetrack. I think it's very popular amongst the fans and the riders for lots of different reasons. The convenience to Denver. I think the hillside having some elevation is a lot of fun for riders, but it does come with its own unique challenges. The elevation is a big ask on riders and on the motorcycles. So all the teams will be doing their very best to mitigate that loss in power, whether that's ECU mapping, whether that's changing the internal engine components that can go up on the gearing. All of those things will be to try to add power back in that the 5,000 to 6,000 feet of elevation robs from the engines. Now for the riders, they're going to notice their heart rate is elevated all the way through the weekend. That's from walking the racetrack. That's from time qualifying when they're really up against the limit of what their heart rate can manage, trying to put in those heater laps, or in the race itself when they try to sprint or they really try to push. They're going to notice they're simply breathing harder than they would otherwise. So it's a tough ask on riders and teams this weekend, but overall, this is a very well-liked round, and I think with sunny skies and temperatures around 80 degrees, it's going to be a picture-perfect day for round 3 in Thunder Valley, Colorado.
Thanks, JT. Now for the injury report brought to you by Leatt. In the 450 class, Justin Barsha is still recovering from a knee injury and will be out until High Point or Southwick. Dylan Ferrandis is out with a leg injury. Grant Harlan is out after breaking several ribs last weekend at Hangtown. Joey Savacci is in, racing with a broken finger. And Chase Sexton, who crashed hard at the opening round, will sit this round out as well. In the 250 class, Max Anstey is out with a broken leg. Daxton Bennick is out with a concussion and a back injury. Pierce Brown also out with a back injury. Trevor Collop crashed in qualifying at Hangtown. He is out. Cole Davies is out with a broken arm. Evan Ferry has an Achilles injury. He's out. Seth Hamaker had a rough second moto at Hangtown where he went down a couple times and then he ended up pulling off early. He's banged up, but he will be ready to go for Thunder Valley. Chance Hymas had food poisoning last weekend and missed the second moto. He will be back this weekend. Jeremy Martin was supposed to do the first 3 rounds, but he crashed at Hangtown, and now he's just going to sit this weekend out and come back to race one more time at his home race at Millville. Cameron McAdoo tore an ACL. He's out. Carson Mumford, ankle, he's out. Jet Reynolds is out with a leg injury. Styles Robertson is out with a wrist injury. And Jalek Swoll is out with an Achilles injury, but he hopes to be back for High Point. That's it for the weekend preview and injury report. As far as this weekend's schedule, the 450s will actually race first this weekend, and the 250s will race second. You can check out all of the action this Saturday on Peacock as well as NBC. All of the motos and the second qualifying sessions air live on Peacock. NBC will also host 2 hours of racing with 250 Moto 1 and 450 Moto 2 starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. However, fans may want to head to the track on Friday to catch the third round of WMX. 2024 champ Leatt Turner is showing why she runs the big number 1 on her bike, as she has won 3 out of the first 4 motos to start the year. It's going to be an action-packed weekend, and you won't want to miss it.